friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlie. I'm glad you're here, and today we're talking about my experience of being a dual student. If this is the first video you're watching, I'm giving you a brief introduction. I'm Charlie, I'm 22 years old, and I'm studying communication and public relations for 2.5 years now. I'm a dual student, so I'm working and I'm studying. Before I started studying dual, I also studied normal for years, so I thought I'm gonna tell you about both sides kind of if I can. I prepared some questions, so without further talking, we just get right into it. What is dual studying? Dual studying means you work and you go to college. You do both full time. You have your college phases where you're either going to college twice a week and working the other 3 days, or you have a splitted month kind of. You work 2 weeks and go to college for 2 weeks. My dual studying falls under the first explanation, so I'm going to college 2 times a week and work 3 times a week. When I have my college break, I'm working, so I never have spring breaks and any kind like that. I'm not having those because when I'm on college break, I'm working full time. How do I study and stay organized? I take all my notes on my iPad when I'm in college, and when I'm working on presentations, I also do that on my iPad. So everything that the professor says, I'm writing down with my iPad pen and go through those. Then we have the presentations of the courses that we have, and when I'm writing my exams, I'm also going through the presentations so that I see what I did understand, what I didn't understand, and if I don't understand anything, we have learn groups. So I have my close friends with which I learn for almost every exam, and if I have questions, I can always ask them. And I stay organized kind of through the college I'm going to because they help a lot with those kind of things, because I'm at a private college, so they write me when my essays are due so that I don't forget it. And they also put me in my classes so I don't have to go through the whole bureaucracy of this kind. When I studied normal, I had to do that, so I know how stressful that can be. And when I studied normal, I just wrote down my favorite classes and how I wanted to sort them out beforehand, before we had to sign into the classes to get them. And I had a planner, and in this planner I wrote every assignment, every due date, and also in my phone calendar. If you want to have a more in-depth how I study, how I stay organized in college video, you can comment it down below. I would love to film one for you, and then I can do both sides kind of a little bit better, how I did it when I was at a normal college and how I do it now that I'm studying dual. Did you ever feel lost in your classes or at work? When I started to work, of course, I felt a little bit lost because I had no clue what I was doing. I had to learn everything from scratch, and the same for the classes. But because I was studying beforehand, I wasn't as lost when I switched and transferred colleges. And of course, you feel a little bit lost in class. So my tip for that is preparation. When you have the presentations of your professor beforehand, go through it so that you kind of know what's going on. I also read the course description before I go to the course so that I know what is going on, and I kind of try to inform myself which professor I have, what the professor is doing, so that I can go into the class a little bit more relaxed. And also because I'm studying dual, my professors are very sweet people, and if any one of us ever felt lost, they would help us immediately. And you can also ask your college friends if they take the same class as you, and if you still feel lost after all that preparation for the class, it fades. And you don't have to be the best at every class you take. The most important thing is that you pass the class, and otherwise there are tutors for some classes and you can prepare for some a little bit better than for others. For some you also can watch kind of YouTube videos so that you get a little bit more into the class. But yeah, I felt lost in classes professors, and especially at work when I began working, and it still happens till this day that I feel a little bit lost in class and I don't know what the professor wants from me, because sometimes it happens that you don't know what the professor is talking about. And I think it's totally normal, because that's the reason why you study, because you're not a pro in the field you're studying and you want to learn more about it. Did you ever feel overwhelmed because you work and go to college full time? I must say I felt the difference when I transferred from a normal college to my dual studying, because I had less free time. But for me it helped me a whole lot, because I can transfer the things that I learn in college to work, and that helps me a lot. Also, when I'm done with college, I already have 3.5 years work experience and I know what I'm doing after that, which is pretty helpful. And yeah, it is a lot of workload, because you have the college things you need to do and the work things you need to do, and there are times where I feel overwhelmed and I don't know where I should start, but it all passes. If you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself it's just college and you can get through. Yeah, but of course I felt overwhelmed. Also in the starting phase, it was a whole lot that was rolling towards me, because I learned the homework things, I had college classes, and I don't live in the city where my college is, so I also have to travel back and forth for college and for my classes and to see my college friends. So sometimes I feel a little bit overwhelmed, but it passes really fast, because I love that I'm studying dual. Do you think the private college is worth it, or is it a waste of time? I was at a college where I had to pay the normal college fee and went there, and then after the first semester I had to pay another college fee. Now I'm at a college where I have to pay monthly, but not I'm paying that fee that I have to pay now for private college. The office where I'm working now, the company, is paying the college fee, and I must say it's a little easier for me, because you have the professors who are nicer to you, because they know what you're doing and that you're also working a whole ton, that you have other responsibilities as only college, so they know that they can give you a whole lot of work, but they normally don't do it, and they are a lot nicer. And we also are kind of more personal with our professors, I think. In the first year that I studied in a normal college, I didn't pass a class, and I took the SAM class when I transferred, and I passed it with an A. So either it was the professor or it was just the whole environment, but my private college is a whole lot more familiar with what you have to do beside college, and they also kind of let you decide with them. We have some professors who ask us how much workload we have from other classes, or how much work we have to do in general, and then they see if we get any work from them, or they just skip that or put it into another class, or just don't give it to us and they work it out themselves, kind of. So I think it's worth it to go to private college if you can afford it, or if you want to study dual, because it helps a lot. Everyone is a little bit nicer and you have a more private bond with your professors. You can go to them and talk to them, and you're not just a number kind of in a list full of other students, because they know you, because our college classes are limited to 20 people, and in normal college you sit in a class with 200, 300 other people. And you're not a priority then, you are just a number and another college student. While when you're at a private college, you have this personal bond. I have a professor that I had in my first semester, and he still remembers a whole course. So he knows all the people that I'm studying with. He always says hi when he sees us, and we always have a nice talk when we see each other. So it's a whole lot friendlier than normal colleges. Do you feel like you made the most out of college? I started college when COVID started, so the first 2 years of college were pretty limited, I would say. We had a lot of online classes, and because I don't live in the city where the college is, there were a whole lot of friend groups already formed when I got to college in person, and you don't have the normal traditional college time. you go to college 2 times a week and then you work, so you don't have the whole college experience, which I don't mind because I chose it. I had the college experience for a year, and even then I didn't make a lot of friends, so I don't think it's important that college feels like the movies. It's important that you like it, that you enjoy it, but it's not like the movies make it feel like. But I can't give you a whole feedback on that because I still have 1 year left, and the last semester that I have is only for classes and I'm not working then. So maybe then I'm a little bit more in the town where I study and have the college life. But I feel like I'm making the most out of it because I still do what I want to do and I love going to classes. Was it hard to make friends? As I already said, I started college when COVID hit. So the first 1.5 years were kind of hard. We had our set groups already because we had presentations already in the first 1.5 years, and with those people I'm still close, and those are also my best friends now from college. The persons that I sat with, that I did things with in the first and the second semester are the closest ones to me, but it was a little bit harder because I live far away. I need 1.5 hours minimum to drive to the city, so sometimes I can go there and do things with them because I'm not that spontaneous, because I have to plan that a little bit more or because I have work to do. So it was a little bit harder for me to make friends, I think, but just because I have a little bit more distance to the friends that I made in college. But I still have 5 friends that are pretty close to me, and 1 friend in college that I would say is one of my best friends now. So it can be a little bit hard in the beginning to make friends, but I think if you do your thing and be open to other people and be open to make friendships, it is a lot easier and you have to put yourself out there. For example, in the first 1.5 years I did a lot of things with them and traveled to the city and traveled back at night just because I wanted to, and I'm still doing that because my friendships that I made over the 2.5 years are very important to me. But if you don't put in the work to create good and long-lasting friendships, you don't create them. Did you enjoy it or was it stressful? College in general isn't stressful at all, and I do enjoy every class that I take, every moment that I am at college. What is stressful for me is the phases where I have to travel back and forth and the work phases, kind of, because I work in a field where it can get a little bit more stressful around some time slots in the year. For example, in December I normally have the most stressful time of the year because we have to do a lot for our customers around that time. Then we have some other things that can get quite stressful. So work can get stressful. College can also get stressful when you have a lot of exams, due dates, things to write. But I normally don't take it as stressful. I enjoy it because it's part of my college experience. And of course you get stressed sometimes, or you feel like you don't do enough for college or for work. But in the end, I don't have to figure everything out by myself, which is also a big pro. I have a lot of people around me who go through the same things as I do. And I also have a lot of support from the work side and from the college side. So it's not that harmful. If I feel a little bit stressed, I can talk with either side. But the stress in college and at work is manageable. And it doesn't happen as often. And normally I stress myself more than I'm getting stressed because of outer circumstances, because I'm a person, if I want something done I need to make it immediately, and that's a me problem and not a problem from work or college. So I enjoy it more than it is stressful to me. Did you ever get lost on campus? The campus is really small, so I never got lost. At the first 3 weeks I need to adjust to the building and needed to figure out where the rooms were, but now it's kind of like my second home. I know exactly where I have to go and I know exactly which room I need to go into. But when I studied studied at the normal college, I think I would have got lost a lot of times because that was a huge campus. But in that time where I studied there, we just had online classes, so I didn't have that problem. But I think it's totally normal if you are at a huge campus that you get lost, that you walk into the wrong room, that you can't figure out ASAP which room is yours and where you have to go, which is totally normal. So I think it's totally normal if you get lost, and if you have a planner of the campus which helps you, it's great. But it happens to everyone that starts studying. Nobody knows the whole campus by heart in the first 2 semesters because you have to go to so many different buildings that it's normal that you don't know which you have to go into. I just have the luck that I don't have that huge of a campus. How many classes did you take each term? As I said already, I don't have to book my classes by myself. The college does it for me, so I have 7 classes every semester and I'm in there automatically when I pass the semester. So I have 7 classes every year except for the 7th semester. There I think I have 5 classes because in the last semester I also have to write my huge essay, so then they kind of drossel it down. But before that I have 7 classes a semester. Why did you transfer? I transferred because my first college was too theoretical for me and I couldn't handle the online classes. I realized in the 2nd semester that I studied at the college that I'm not concentrated enough for the online classes. It's all way too theoretical for me, and I also didn't get the courses that I wanted to. So if I went through with that college and the major that I had then, I would have studied 4 years just because I didn't get the classes that I wanted. And I talked to one of my professors back then and asked her how she thinks about it and if she thinks that I can get into the classes when I'm in a higher semester. And she said to me that if I don't take the classes that I needed to take in the 2nd semester and take them in the 5th semester instead, my 3rd semester doesn't make sense to me because I needed those classes to build up for the 3rd semester. So I basically had to push everything else forward so that I can repeat the 2nd semester kind of, and I didn't want that, and the practical side was missing for me. So I cancelled that college and looked for other ideas and was set on dual studying pretty fast because I loved the concept that you're studying and going to work and you get paid for working, obviously, and that you can transfer the things that you've learned at your workplace. So that's what got me there, and that's why I transferred. And now I thought I'm gonna tell you pros and cons about dual studying. One pro, of course, you can transfer the knowledge you get from college to work, which is fantastic because I learned so much at work that I can transfer to college nowadays, that the whole college experience is a lot easier for me. Then we have, of course, the fact that it's more practical because you have, at least at my college, you have professors that are working in the field they're teaching you about. They're still working while they are your professors, so you can ask them things about the daily life and the year you're currently in because they have knowledge about that because they need that for their work as well. My classes are way more practical. The most of my exams are practical exams where I have to design something myself, make a concept for something, figure something out, make communication concepts. So I get my exams and do my exams in things that I also need in my work life, and I have the more practical side on that as well. The cons are, of course, you have to work while you're studying, which for some people is time consuming and very stressful. I have a 40-hour week most of the time. I don't have spring breaks when everyone around me, because I'm also still friends with normal students, and they have breaks. I need to take vacation off work so that I can drive on vacation with them or do anything with them. So that's a little bit annoying. So if you have friends that study the normal way, you have to take off work and you can't experience as much as they can, and you don't have the freedom kind of to do whatever you want when you want because you have the work side of it. Sometimes you have to do a lot of college things on the weekend because you're working. For example, the due date for all my essays are always in my work phase, so I need to write my essays on the weekend and then I'm working from Monday to Friday, so that's kind of time consuming. So you have to be very organized for that, which is a con and also a pro. You get way better at organization because you have to organize when you do what, when you can take time off work to go on vacation, when you can take time off to write your essays, when you're gonna write your essays, when you're gonna hand in your essays, and what you do at work. So these are some cons and some pros on studying dual. If you have any further questions, write them down below and then I will answer them as good as I can, or I make just a second part of this if there are a lot of questions. And then I would say, I hope you liked that video. I will make a whole roundup of my college, where I studied, and how my college life was in a year when I'm done with my college life. And I would say that rounds up this video. If you liked it, you can give it a thumbs up. You can also subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss a new video and get notified whenever I upload. Make someone's day this week. And I would say we see you next week. Bye!